welcome all the participants from the ministries for kindly taking their time to join us. Before we start the session, I would like to felicitate our participants with a planter. I request our students to felicitate Shri Arpan De Sarkar with a planter.
Specifically, the Jal Jeevan Mission. It's a national flagship program. You all may be aware of it. This is targeting all the rural households to be connected with the piped water supply and with a functional household tap connection. So, you all are aware of it, although I'm reiterating this, that as per the 11th schedule of Indian Constitution, through the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, we have added Part 9 to the Constitution, titled the Panchayats. And this specifies about the powers, authorities, responsibilities of the Panchayats, and 29 functions includes drinking water as an important function that needs to be performed by the local bodies. And by providing the power, authority and responsibility, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 establishes the local bodies as the third tier of governance in this country. And as the block level officers, you will be obviously aware about the rural drinking water scenarios in India. Prior to launch of this national flagship mission, Jal Jeevan Mission, almost 2/3 of the rural population in India, they did not have the access to safe drinking water, even after 70 years of independence. And many districts were water stressed. Obviously, the aspirational districts and blocks were further stressed. And Jal Jeevan Mission was basically a response to cater the needs of rural households with the target of universal coverage. Whenever we talk about universal coverage, it not necessarily covering all the citizens. It is nearly covering 100%, because after that the rate of marginal coverage falls down. And that is the target of this mission. This is a brief scenario of the journey of rural drinking water supply system in India. And in 2019, we have got our flagship mission to connect all the rural households through safe drinking water through piped water supply system. And the vision was that no one is left out. So this is the first time since the independence that we have been connecting the households with the tap waters. Earlier, we were providing the habitation level connections with the street taps or the community taps. So this mission is an upliftment in that sense, because here the expected outcome is to reduce the drudgery for our mothers and sisters and the girl child, and improve the quality of life, because we know that the major burden of collecting the drinking water that lies on the female members of the family. So initially the mission was declared in 2019 and was supposed to be completed in 2024. Now we have covered more than 81% of the rural households in India, and aspirational districts and blocks are not lagging far behind. More than 79% households have been covered through functional household tap connections. And this is the investment scenario of the rural water supply. You can see clearly in the graphs that since 1950s, we have been dedicatedly investing in rural water supply. Earlier, the concept was providing wells, tube wells, and other local sources, rejuvenating the other local sources for drinking water and for other purposes. But since around 2000, I mean, the scenario has a bit changed. We had certain missions which focuses on piped water supply in the rural areas, and Jal Jeevan mission is trying to achieve the next level by connecting each and every rural household. These are the few impacts and potential of this mission. This is, I mean, as per Professor Kramer, Jal Jeevan mission has not achieved the physical infrastructure and household tap connections, but it has considerable impact on other aspects. I mean, be it the prevention of child deaths every year, be it the prevention of diarrheal deaths, be it economic savings, be it the saving of time to collect water. And I mean, I am more than happy to share that as per the WHO studies, time saved is more than 5.5 crore hours time saved each day in rural India. And within this time, 75% of these times are being spent by the female members of the families. And if I go to other studies, I mean, they have also clearly hinted about employment generation in terms of person years and estimated decline in female population fetching water from outside the premise. So what are the challenges going forward? I would like to highlight, I mean, this is more important for you people, because whenever we are planning saturation in anything, we need to be prepared for the next level. I mean, that means the sustainability of saturation. So challenges going forward is maintaining these infrastructure, this huge investment that the country is making. Right now, almost 4 lakh crore has been spent in the infrastructure of rural water supply across the country. And the challenge before the nation is to sustain this. So major challenges are the viability. And whenever I am telling that sustainability means sustainability of source, sustainability in terms of finances, sustainability in terms of the institutions. Jal Jeevan mission is not a top-down approach of the government, it's a bottom-up approach. And since all the block level officers, you people are coming from the third tier of the governance, you closely work with the panchayats and villages. So it's basically a community managed program. We are aiming that the operation and maintenance will be done by the communities, and Jal Jeevan mission has a clear focus of building the capacities of the village level functionaries, block level functionaries, district level functionaries and all. So when I was talking about the viable financial model, the states and UTs are to adopt strategy based minimal dependence on the grants, because central grants are limited, and you people may be aware that our local bodies are mostly dependent on Central Finance Commission grants and State Finance Commission grants. But we are aiming to a nominal dependence on such grants or the subsidies, and we wish that the community will own this system and they will do the regular operation and minor maintenances each and every day, and they will sustain this huge infrastructure and investment for at least next 30 years. So that is the challenge, challenge for a particular side of economics. And if you, as a block level representative, you must be aware about the supervision, because at this age of digital governance, we are trying to have different levels of supervision at district level, block level, district level, state level, as well as central level. we are planning to have, we already have a national dashboard. You can search JJM national dashboard. So you can see, you can select your block, you can see the status of your block live. So, so our approach is that preparing these villages, specifically the village water sanitation committees, as the service utilities at the very basic level, at the local level, villages. So these will be basically the Pani Samitis. That is the most accepted terms in North India. So we have clearly specified that 50% or more VWSC members, that is the Village Water Sanitation Committee members, should be women, because they are the one, which are most dependable, and this program is clearly catering their needs and reducing their drudgery and burden. So we are trying to develop micro utilities through village water sanitation committees wherever it is not possible. So there are primary agricultural credit societies, PACs, you may be aware of. So they can be hired, because since they already have a grassroots level connect in the villages and Panchayat areas, so they can be hired to perform these services by the GPs and the blocks. And the macro utilities, when I say that, that will be the PhD wing or the local government department of the states concerned. They will, because in case of major repair and maintenance, obviously they will be villages and Gram Panchayatis, they will be needing technical support. So for that, the public health engineering department of the states, they will be supporting them for that. And the thing is that we cannot leave the community or their representatives untouched. So because the accountability of the third tier Panchayati Raj institutional system and their elected representative is very much important here. So that will lead us to the sustainability and stability of such an important program. At the same time, I would like to request all the block level officers to plan in your blocks about the demand side management, which are basically the which may be achieved through the orientation and sensitization of the communities, and that will strengthen the participative governance. Actually, whenever you involve the community through different IEC initiatives, different behavioral change communication initiatives, to sensitize the end users about the importance of such a service that the nation is providing to them, and build a sense of ownership among the community. So for that, this Jal Jeevan Mission has a dedicated capacity building plan in each and every state for the local level stakeholders, including block level officers and GP functionaries and office bearers. So next, I am just giving you an idea about what is a rural piped water supply system. So whenever I am mentioning SVS is basically single village scheme. So a single village scheme is basically connecting source and reaching till the household tap. So from source to tap, this is the basic definition of any water supply scheme, specifically for the single village schemes. And there may be some other units like storage structures, disinfection units and all, chlorinators and all. So this is the idea of single village schemes. Now in case of certain villages or far-flung areas, specifically in aspirational blocks, it is very difficult to find sources in the same village. So then we have to plan, and we had actually planned from Jal Jeevan Mission that the water needs to be carried from far-flung areas through bulk water supply, and in such an arrangement we will be basically developing multi-village water governance pillars that we are aiming at. And this is the governance model that I was talking initially, that there will be a state level water sanitation mission, there will be a district level water sanitation mission, and a Gram Panchayat village water sanitation committee. So these are the setups of district water sanitation mission. So they will be overseeing the performances of the blocks and villages, and these are the major roles and responsibilities that we are aiming to achieve. So I have already shared the PowerPoint presentation with Dr. Bhattacharya, so you can have the access with this PPT. So this is the operation and maintenance policy, essential components. So there should be some sustainability plan of the scheme. There must be service delivery or utility approach involving the community and the local governments. And there are certain water quality protocols that we are following and trying to develop in each and every villages, including the aspirational villages, aspirational blocks. And we are building an effective monitoring and for ONM, and you are our stakeholders. Most important stakeholders are block level officers and functionaries. And I have already mentioned about the demand side and supply side management. So through this we are trying to reach Har Ghar Jal, that is the motive of this Jal Jeevan mission, and from around 80% we will be achieving the 100% soon, as announced in this budget by the Honorable Finance Minister, that the mission will be completed by 2028. So our aim will be completion and ownership, and with the mentioned deadline, and with sustainable operation and maintenance model, and simultaneously we will be skilling and building the capacity of our local level functionaries and our stakeholders. For that, one nodal institute by Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation has been established in Kolkata as Shama Prasad Mukherjee National Institute for Water and Sanitation. And through this we will be achieving a vibrant piped water supply ecosystem in the entire country. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Appan. Thank you so much for the presentation. We would now like to request Srimati Niti Saxena to please come to the podium and share her side of how to achieve saturation in the village. She works extensively in the district of Noor. Her organization works there, and they work in basic infrastructure. They are also in education and water connection. Over to you.
So I represent a civil society organization called SM Sehgal Foundation, and we are a grassroots interventionist organization. हम ज़मीनी स्तर पर काम करते हैं करीबन 13 राज्यों में, 13 states, and we started out 26 years ago in Noor district. So Noor, जब ये aspirational districts program आया था, तो आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि Noor was labeled to be the most backward district in the country. So we started work in Noor in about 26 years ago. However, having said so, when Ruchira reached out to me and said that, you know, we are going to do this refresher training, and why don't you come and talk about infrastructure saturation, I thought, what an opportune moment, because, you know, we have so many stories to share that, of course, this time is short, and I'm going to, of course, do it in the next session as well. But for now, for a grassroots organization like us, I think we are very much aligned with the challenges that you people face on the ground. Because हमारा भी काम ये है कि हम जाते हैं, हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को रेजुविनेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं और फिर हमको सस्टेनेबिलिटी का क्वेश्चन आता है और सस्टेनेबिलिटी ज़ीरो हो जाती है, राइट? तो वहाँ पे हमारा जो चैलेंजेस हैं वो बिल्कुल सिमिलर हैं और इसलिए मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मैं आज आके और आप लोगों से भी ये साझा कर रही हूँ. पहले तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करें तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज़ नॉट ओनली अबाउट प्रॉपर रोड्स, पावर, एनर्जी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, पावर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, ये सब नहीं. हमारी जितने डोमेन्स हैं उसमें भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. सो इट इज़ नॉट लिमिटेड टू ओनली रूरल रोड्स, रोड अप्रोचेबिलिटी हो, मंडी को अप्रोचेबिलिटी हो फार्मर्स की, या पावर आती रहे. उसके बियॉन्ड हेल्थ की बात करें तो अभी थोड़ी देर पहले एक साथी ने बोला आंगनवाड़ी का स्ट्रक्चर बिल्डिंग हो तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. हाँ, उस सिमिलरली हेल्थ में PHC आता है, CHC आता है, कोई डिलीवरी हट आ सकता है. एजुकेशन की बात करें, स्कूल बिल्डिंग्स की बात करें, हम पिछले महीने बारिशों में हमने बहुत न्यूज़ सुनी, कहीं स्कूल की बिल्डिंग में एक दीवार गिर गई, उससे बहुत नुकसान हुआ. तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज़ नॉट ओनली सिंगुलर इन टर्म्स ऑफ ब्रॉड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ कनेक्टिंग अ विलेज, ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग पावर टू अ विलेज, बट it engulfs every singular domain, be it education, be it health, be it farming, anything. So having said so, what one of the major challenges that we faced when we started out was that हमें लगा कि okay, हमने नू में काम शुरू करा, वहाँ पे करीबन 63%, 63% विलेजेस में जो ग्राउंड वाटर है वो सलाइन है. तो वो अरावलीज़ के बॉर्डर पे है. तो हमें लगा कि ये बहुत अच्छा रहेगा कि हम यहाँ पे चेक डैम्स बना दें. तो हमने एक गांव लिया और हमने वहाँ पर एक चेक डैम, सरकार का बनाया हुआ चेक डैम था, उसमें ब्रीच आ चुका था. तो वी डिसाइडेड टू revamp that check dam, repair that check dam. We did that and we were very happy. We thought that अब मानसून आएगा और यहाँ इस गांव में पानी आ जाएगा, सब सिचुएशन ठीक हो जाएगी. तो हम बहुत खुशी हमने एक गांव में किया, फिर दूसरे गांव में हमें नीड लगी तो वहाँ पे चेक डैम नहीं था, हमने एक नया चेक डैम बना दिया. जब मानसून आया तो बहुत अच्छा मानसून था, हमें बहुत खुशी हुई कि हमने चेक डैम बना दिया, अब तो मतलब सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्या हुआ कि जो हमने नया डैम बनाया था वो तो भरता रहा, वो 11 बार भरा, तो उसमें ऑफकोर्स ऑगमेंटेशन हुआ. पर जब दूसरे साल का मानसून आया तो मानसून फिर से बहुत अच्छा आया और उसमें ब्रीच हो गया. तो जब उसकी एक दीवार में ब्रीच हो गया तो पानी पर्कोलेशन होना बंद हो गया क्योंकि वो सब ब्रीच से निकल रहा था. तो हम गांव वालों के पास गए, पंचायत के पास गए, हमने कहा कि ये तो ब्रीच हो गया है तो आप लोग इसको हमें रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा, तो आप लोग इसको रिपेयर कराइए पंचायत फंड से. सो दे से ये सेगल फाउंडेशन ने बनाया तो सेगल फाउंडेशन रिपेयर कराए, हम क्यों कराएं? So you can imagine that sustainability is not guaranteed even when a foundation like ours goes and constructs things that may we assume that it is making their life easier. Unless they communities see the benefit of why a particular thing is happening and how it will benefit them in the long run, they will never own it up. And this has been a foundational premise of how the foundation has expanded or grown over the years. So we have struggled a lot in terms of sustainability. Each one of us does. I'm sure यहाँ पे सब लोग करते हैं. और sustainability is not in the hands of anyone in this room. It is basically in the hands of the communities because it is for them that this development and growth is happening. So the very, again, I don't want to take a lot of time of other speakers, but I'd like to close on two major things that I'd like to say here. One is that saturation of infrastructure has to be based on a 3C model. And why do I say a 3C model? Because पहला हमारा है collaboration. वो foundational चीज़ है. अगर आप collaborate नहीं करेंगे, not only with the communities but also with other stakeholders. So हमें communities को तो लेना ही साथ क्योंकि हम उनके लिए ही कर रहे हैं, पर और stakeholders जो हैं district level पे, state level पे, national level पे, वो सारे हमारे stakeholders हैं. Collaboration is very important. Second is convergence. You know, somebody, a fellow speaker also spoke about it in the previous session, that how convergence is a very, very important thing. अगर हम converge नहीं करेंगे, और convergence again, I would say it is not only limited to converging schemes. You know that state scheme है, national scheme है, अच्छा इधर से ये component मिल जाएगा, national scheme से ये component मिल जाएगा. It is not limited to convergence of these schemes. It has to be also in terms of convergence with the opinions and needs of your communities. Because if you are not able to converge with their needs, they will never come forward and own things up. वो फिर sustenance again will become a question. So that is the second C, you know, collaboration, convergence. And third is competition. Now competition in the positive sense, that okay, you know, you are an aspirational block, okay, I have to pace up on indicators. Now pacing up on indicators, you know, one example I saw, I'm sorry I came in a little late, but हमारे एक साथी ने वही, मैं फिर से कोट करूँगी, आंगनवाड़ी की बात करी, है ना. तो आंगनवाड़ी का बिल्डिंग जो है वो नहीं है, इसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि इतना शायद अपटेक नहीं है या उतनी कन्वीनियंस नहीं है. बट अगर आपके जो बाकी के इंडिकेटर्स हैं वो आपके बहुत अच्छे जा रहे हैं, है ना, तो आप कैसे किसी को ये नीड फील कराएंगे कि आपको एक बिल्डिंग की ज़रूरत है, राइट. So if your indicators may be very good, that whoever gets enrolled in the Anganwadi is doing pretty well. You know, हमारा upper arm circumference बहुत अच्छा हो गया बच्चों का, height and weight बहुत अच्छा हो गया बच्चों का. पर क्या सारे बच्चे विलेज के आ रहे हैं? क्या उस करंट जगह में सारे वो रहे? तो these indicators also have to speak for themselves, that it is not that, you know, if the Anganwadi is functioning properly, it is not limited to only the children who are enrolled in the Anganwadi. It is also the children who are not coming to the Anganwadi because of deficiency of space, because of no awareness, or whatever the case may be, right. So we have to see things in a very holistic sense. That is the one message that I wanted to give out. And second is again sustainability. You know, the previous speaker also spoke about how everything boils down to sustainability. If we are not able to do any effort जो कि sustainable हो सके long term में, वो viable effort नहीं है. Then वो कहते हैं ना return on investment. आजकल एक development sector में एक नया term चला है social return on investment, जिसमें हम बात करते हैं कि हमने 1 रुपया लगाया तो अगर हम 10 रुपये की खुशी किसी को दे पाए तो वो भी अच्छा ROI है, राइट. सो सोशल रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट आपको बहुत टेक्निकल टर्म नहीं है ये, हम रोज़मर्रा में भी सोच सकते हैं कि अगर हम खुद के लिए भी डिसीजंस लेने के लिए सोचते हैं ना कि अगर हम ये खरीदेंगे तो इससे हमें क्या फ़ायदा है, क्या नुकसान है. Similarly, on similar grounds, we have to also think that whatever effort we are putting in on the ground, whether it's able to reap those returns in the longer term, short term and longer term. I close my conversation here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Niti. Now I would like to request Anushka from Ministry of Education to please come to the podium. You can take the hand mic if you want, if you are comfortable there, and address the participants, or you can come to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. हम lunch के काफ़ी करीब है, तो I'll keep this short. Also, you are the chosen ones. I really don't get to meet people जो block level पे इतना intensive काम करते हैं in Delhi. So, congratulations to the organizers for getting you here. And I do look forward कि मैं आप सबसे सुनूं. मेरा जो ज्ञान है वो आपको already पता है. I'll again dwell upon it. But I would also like to know about the challenges you're facing when it comes to specific indicators education के sector में. So let me start by admitting that education is a very challenging sector. इस सेक्टर में बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, बहुत टाइम लग जाता है, gestation period is long. There is no assurance कि जो आप कर रहे हो whether it will lead to improvement in learning outcomes or the final indicators that we are assessing. And also a lot of things are beyond the control of block level officials, or for sometimes even the state level officials, national level officials. Supreme Court भी आता है, there is the judiciary which is involved in many things. So let's say कि अगर जैसे कि special education के क्षेत्र में we have 2 lakh special educators all over India, जबकि हमें चाहिए 4 से 5 लाख. जब है ही नहीं तो how do we ensure inclusivity? Can we come up with very intelligent ways, innovative ways to do it, ways including the community जिसमें उनको involve कर सके, or some other indicators, let's say कि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज समथिंग आई थिंक वी हैव बेसिकली क्रैक्ड. सब ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का सोच लिया है. सस्टेनेबिलिटी, माई प्रीवियस स्पीकर्स हैव रियली एम्फसाइज्ड ऑन दैट. ये स्कूल की भी बात है. सस्टेनेबिलिटी, ब्लॉक रिसोर्स सेंटर्स हैं हमारे, उनकी भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी. दीज आर थिंग्स वी हैव टू रियली थिंक अबाउट. बट आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू कमेंट कि कुछ भी इंक्रीमेंटल इंप्रूवमेंट भी हो रहा है अगर एजुकेशनल इंडिकेटर्स में, दैट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ योर परसिवियरेंस. सो टेक हार्ट फ्रॉम इट, डोंट लूज हार्ट. एज अ ब्लॉक लेवल ऑफिशियल आपसे जो एक्सपेक्टेड है इज परसिवियरेंस, नोइंग योर ब्लॉक बेटर देन एनी वन एल्स. यू हैव टू टेक दैट एफर्ट कि आप एक एक बच्चे को, not through you, through the entire organization which is at your disposal, you know each and every child, you are able to track each and every child, and only then आप अगर सब में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, हर चाइल्ड में इक्वली इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, पेरेंटल कमिटमेंट में, कम्युनिटी में, तब जाके कुछ आएगा. यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस. आप अपने क्षेत्र का अपना जजमेंट लगा के सोच लीजिए कि व्हाट वर्क्स फॉर यू. नॉट एवरीथिंग विल वर्क. आपको एक्सपेरिमेंट करना पड़ेगा, आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि आपके लिए, एक क्षेत्र के लिए क्या उपयुक्त है, what works for it, and then put your heart and soul into it. This is the first advice from my side. Now I'll go into all indicators. There are 11 indicators. So would someone like to tell me कि transition rate actually capture क्या करता है? मतलब why track transition rates at all? कोई भी बताएगा? नहीं बताएगा तो मैं बता दूंगी, but I would really like to think what people at the ground level think कि transition rate से क्या track होता है? Please. Dropouts, okay. Anything else? Attendance, okay. कुछ और? GR, gross enrollment ratio. Okay. Okay. So let me just put a bit more perspective to it. Transition rate से ये दिखाई देता है कि आप लोग यूनिवर्सल स्कूलिंग कितनी करवा पाए हो. इट्स अ मिक्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग कि इनरोलमेंट कितना हुआ है, रिटेंशन कितना हुआ है और प्रोग्रेशन कितना हुआ है. एक बच्चे को बस स्कूल सिस्टम में लाना इज़ नॉट आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. इट इज़ इंश्योरिंग कि बच्चा क्लास में रहे, उसको इंटरटेनिंग लगे, उसको इंगेज हो, ही लर्न्स, ही और शी लर्न्स. मेरा ही, यू कैन टेक इट एज बोथ, ओके. एंड ऑल्सो दैट प्रोग्रेशन हो. जो 12 साल ऑफ एजुकेशन हम कह रहे हैं, अभी 15 हो गया विद इंक्लूजन ऑफ बाल वाटिका, प्री प्राइमरी एजुकेशन. वी हैव टू इंश्योर कि बच्चे के 15 साल ऑफ एजुकेशन हो. तो ये ट्रांजिशन रेट्स ये पूरा प्रोसेस कैप्चर कर रहे हैं. इट इज़ नॉट वन स्टैंड अलोन थिंग, इट इज़ आर कमिटमेंट कि एक बच्चे को हम पूरे स्कूल के थ्रू प्रोग्रेस करवा सके. एंड दैट इज़ बिकॉज वर्ल्ड ओवर इट हैज़ बीन सीन कि आप जितनी स्कूलिंग करते हो, आपके एक्सपेक्टेड ईयर्स ऑफ स्कूलिंग जितने बढ़ते हैं, आपकी आमदनी भी उतनी बढ़ती है, आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी उतनी बढ़ती है और आमदनी उतनी बढ़ती है. आई एम नॉट इवन गोइंग टू अदर एस्पेक्ट्स कि बच्चे की हेल्थ बेटर होती है इफ़ यू आर मोर एजुकेटेड. You can contribute to societies in other ways if you are more educated. So I'm not going to it. I'm just saying from an individual angle, more possibility कि आपके वेतन बढ़े, आपकी सैलरी बढ़े, आपकी आमदनी बढ़े if you are more educated. This is point one. The transition rate, what I see is all over India, UDICE plus data 24-25 का अभी रिलीज हुआ है. So from 83.3 we have gone to 86.6%. 3% improvement हुआ है एक साल में. And this is all over India का picture. This is from upper primary to secondary. Basically आप देख रहे हो कितने class 8 वाले class 9th में पहुँचे हैं. That is what you are seeing in that figure. Most of the aspirational blocks are doing very well. 60% are above the national average. आपको push करना है. Strategies that work in your area. Nationally we see consolidation works. Consolidation मतलब एक, अभी अगर आप system देखोगे तो एक बच्चा goes into a school, maybe there till 5th. फिर और एक स्कूल में जाएगा, दैट स्कूल में भी 6 to 8, फिर 8 के बाद और एक स्कूल में जाएगा. तो इतना फ्रैगमेंटेड है हमारा सिस्टम. आई एम श्योर आप लोग भी इसे फेस कर चुके हो. एक बच्चे को हम कितनी बार उसका माहौल चेंज कर रहे हैं, उसके टीचर्स चेंज कर रहे हैं, मे बी उसका फ्रेंड ग्रुप चेंज कर रहे हैं. लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स इज चेंजिंग फॉर द चाइल्ड. एंड वॉट वर्क्स इज इफ वी कैन गिव द चाइल्ड वन कॉमन प्लेस जहाँ वो 1 से 12th कर सके. समथिंग लाइक ए रेसिडेंशियल स्कूल, KGBV, PM जनमन में गुड basically outcomes are seen when it comes to transition. Of course some of these things are outside your hand, but एक बच्चे को track करना is the second most effective way which kind of helps to ensure कि वो 8th से 9th में जाए, फिर after that from 10th to 11th में जाए. तो आपको वो वाला effort डालना पड़ेगा कि एक बच्चे को track करे and देखे कि वो vocational education में जाए. ठीक है, पॉलिटेक्निक ITI में जाए, that's also really good क्योंकि उससे भी उसकी livelihood better होगी. But the child should not fall through the cracks कि वी जस्ट लॉस्ट ट्रैक ऑफ हिम, पता ही नहीं चला कि फिर उसके बाद कहाँ गया है कहाँ नहीं गया है। तो उन सिस्टम्स को आपको स्ट्रेंथन करना पड़ेगा, मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम्स को एक एक बच्चे को मैप करना पड़ेगा विद सोसाइटी, विथ योर ओन पीपल, ताकि वो उस बच्चे का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले, उसके पेरेंट्स का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले कि आपको बच्चे को भेजना ही है स्कूल या फिर ITI पॉलिटेक्निक, whichever way. And let me after transition rates, because I think more or less in 1 or 2 years इसमें अच्छा खासा प्रोग्रेशन हो चुका है और होने वाला है. So this is not something that I'll speak more about. Let me go to the other one, which is PTR in elementary schools. That should be less than 30. Most of it has been cracked. मतलब पूरे national level पे it is 20 at the moment, which is very good. And I think 1 or 2 states को छोड़कर PTR is not an issue. Bihar, it is slightly on the higher side. Now what is required is inter-school allocation. टीचर को एक स्कूल से दूसरे स्कूल में हम लोग कैसे ट्रांसफ़र कर पाए ताकि PTR मीट हो. So these are again dependent on state level recruitment हो रहा है कि नहीं. Something outside your hand, I would say at this point of time. Then there is a girls' toilet facility. Again, this is something we can saturate very quickly. सैचुरेशन से हमें बस ये तात्पर्य नहीं रखना है कि एक बना देना है. आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ यू हैव बीन एबल टू क्रैक दैट पार्ट कि बन चुका है. यूजेज, फंक्शनैलिटी, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आगे जाके हमें चिल्ड्रन विद स्पेशल नीड्स के जो टॉयलेट्स है उस टाइप के टॉयलेट्स भी बनवाने हैं. बट लैंड बिकम्स अ प्रॉब्लम, कंस्ट्रक्शन बिकम्स अ प्रॉब्लम. तो थोड़ा आपको अपने लेवल पे सोचना है कि मैं कहाँ से रिसोर्सेज लाऊँ. ये अगर प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, हाउ डू आई फाइंड अ वे फॉर इट. दिस इज़ योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. एंड देन आई विल कम टू समथिंग विच इज़ okay, I'll quickly wrap it up. Then जो हमें सबसे ज़्यादा इनर्शिया वाला दिखता है, that is train teachers for CWSN, कि टीचर को कैसे ट्रेन करें, सेंसिटिव करें कि कोई भी बच्चा अगर आए उसको हम इंक्लूसिव वे में पढ़ा पाए. इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन बहुत ही एस्पिरेशनल और एम्बिशियस एक टारगेट है. एंड समटाइम्स वी थिंक कि हमें बेसिक चीज़ ही मीट नहीं कही कि वाई आर वी गोइंग इनटू such high domain when it comes to inclusivity. But विकसित भारत में इंडिया विल बी नोन नॉट बाय इट्स पर कैपिटा इनकम कितना हुआ है, आपका ग्रोथ कितना हुआ है. इट्स अबाउट हाउ मच वैल्यू वी एस्क्राइब टू ईच ह्यूमन लाइफ. उसी से हम लोगों को जाना जाएगा. सो यू हैव टू ले द फाउंडेशन राइट नाउ. इट विल टेक अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट, ट्रेनिंग द टीचर्स, having special educators, getting the community to the block resource centers, therapeutic services. It's a very difficult puzzle to crack. बट आप लोग एनर्जी लगाएंगे तो होगा, कुछ ना कुछ सोल्यूशन निकलेगा जो कि हम फिर बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस के तौर पे दूसरों को भी प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. एंड लास्ट 4 इंडिकेटर्स, क्लास 10 बोर्ड के मार्क्स की 60% से ज़्यादा कितने बच्चों को मिल रहा है. दिस इज़ अबाउट लर्निंग आउटकम्स. एंड आई हैव अंडरस्टूड कि लर्निंग आउटकम्स आर द लास्ट टू चेंज. सब कुछ करवा लिया, टीचर ट्रेनिंग करवा ली, स्कूल बना दिया, बाउंड्री वॉल बना दिया, बाला कर लिया, बिल्डिंग एज अ लर्निंग एड, सब कुछ कर लिया, बट लर्निंग आउटकम्स में नहीं दिखा. सो डोंट गेट डिसहार्टेंड. धीरे धीरे ये भी इम्प्रूव होगा. आप समटाइम्स मोर देन द आउटकम, आई वुड से एटलीस्ट व्हेन इट कम्स टू एजुकेशनल क्षेत्र में, मतलब सेक्टर में, यू शुड लुक एट द एफर्ट्स यू आर पुटिंग इनटू इट ऑल्सो. ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप रिकग्नाइज करें उन एफर्ट्स को. आउटकम बहुत सारी चीज़ों से बनता है एंड मे नॉट बी वॉट यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग, बट अंडरस्टैंड वॉट इज़ गुड फॉर योर ब्लॉक. आप प्लीज़ अपनी जजमेंट लगाइए. आप यू हैव वन थिंग दैट वी डोंट, दैट इज़ पैशन फॉर द ब्लॉक. हम लोग बहुत ही डिस्पैशनेट व्यू से आपको बता देंगे क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है, बट पैशन फॉर द ब्लॉक आप ही के पास होगा. सो यूज़ डेटा, यूज़ योर पीपल, बी ओपन टू इनसाइट्स एंड ऑल्सो कीप ऑन एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग, बट नॉट टू मच एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग. आप समझ लीजिए कि क्या वर्क कर रहा है एंड देन यू इम्प्लीमेंट दैट. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much. Next, we would like to invite from the Ministry of Agriculture, Ms. Asha Sota. She is Director of Marketing and Agriculture. Yeah. From here, okay, you can take the hand mic.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will speak more about FPOs where there is a very positive progress. FPO scheme, first of all, I would like to inform that we have already achieved saturation because all the FPOs which were targeted to be formulated under the scheme have since been formulated. As far as the figure for aspirational district is given, the data given is for 470 blocks for which data is available. But as per our records, 1756 FPOs have already been formulated in aspirational blocks. The target was that wherever there is a potential, there is possibility of formulation of FPOs बनाए गए हैं. जहाँ नहीं बने हैं वहाँ यहाँ कोई ना कोई रीज़न रहा होगा, या तो पोटेंशियल नहीं होगा या फार्मर्स जो है आगे नहीं आ रहे होंगे. तो जो भी सेचुरेशन की बात कहें तो सेचुरेशन पे तो हम पहुंच चुके हैं रही, लेकिन अब जो समस्या आ रही है वो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की है. बिकॉज whenever the performance of these FPOs is reviewed at department level, we see that some of the FPOs are defunct, some of the FPOs are having zero turnover, some of the and ग्राउंड लेवल पे भी CBBOs प्रॉपरली काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो उस पे एस्पायरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट के ऑफिशियल्स का क्या रोल रहेगा वो हम आपसे सुनना भी चाहेंगे और आपको बताना भी चाहेंगे. मेरे साथ आशीष जी हैं जो इस FPO स्कीम से रिलेट करते हैं, और स्पेक से डॉक्टर राजपूत हैं जो ही इज़ एन ऑफिसर फ्रॉम वन ऑफ द इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी फॉर दिस स्कीम. सो ही नोज़ द ग्राउंड रियलिटीज़, ही विल स्पीक अबाउट दैट. तो हम आपसे भी सुनना चाहेंगे कि हम किस तरह से FPOs के टर्नओवर को बढ़ा सकते हैं, उनकी मेंबरशिप को कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं, ग्राउंड लेवल पे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं और उनको कैसे रिजॉल्व किया जा सकता है. तो आई हैंड ओवर टू आशीष जी. ही विल टेल द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन चैलेंजेस.
Good afternoon all. So basically 3 type of challenges we are facing with FPOs. One is institutional challenge, second is the statutory compliances, and another one is market linkages. So we already engage CBBOs, but we want block level officers to visit nearby FPO, take their health report in terms of turnover, in terms of market linkages, whether BOD is already trained or any further training is needed at their level, CEO training, accountant is available or not, because we are paying FPO management costs to each of the FPOs, wherein CEO get rupees 25,000 per month, accountant get 10,000 rupees per month, and they are local level bodies only. They are CBBOs are taking the CEOs and accountant from block level youths only, rural youths. And another one challenge is statutory compliances. So most of the FPOs are small and marginal farmers group aggregated. So they don't know the compliances related to AGMs, whether MCA compliances, what type of forms they needed, and timely filling of the returns. So we are time to time giving trainings to them, but I need your support also at a block level, because you are sitting at a block level. So please visit nearby FPOs, give some insights to us so that we can further have a schemes or further have a fund for such type of activities. So I will hand over to Rajput ji. He is
सभी को नमस्कार. आज मुझे एक बात की बहुत खुशी हो रही कि मैं बेसिकली साइंटिस्ट हूँ और कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र में वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिक प्रमुख था. तो हमने SRLM की महिला दीदियों के साथ और हमारे FPO के कन्वर्जेंस के साथ हमने कुछ स्ट्रक्चर्स क्रिएट किए थे, और आज की डेट में हमारी जो SHG की महिला हैं, क्योंकि कन्वर्जेंस FPO और SHG का यदि करते हैं हम, तो वो विन विन सिचुएशन होती है. वो इस तरीके से होती है क्योंकि FPO एक लीगल एंटिटी है और इनपुट और आउटपुट बिजनेस में वो हमेशा इन्वॉल्व रहते हैं. दे आर रनिंग देयर प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम द इनपुट एक्टिविटीज़ एज वेल एज आउटपुट एक्टिविटीज़. तो हमारा कन्वर्जेंस, अभी बात हो रही थी, कन्वर्जेंस बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है किसी भी स्कीम को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए. हम सिर्फ सिंगल स्कीम से कोई भी चीज़ को नहीं कर सकते. अभी बात हो रही थी सामुदायिक भवन की या आंगनवाड़ी केंद्र की, तो हमारे कुछ एग्जाम्पल हैं. हमने 3-4 ऐसे काम किए थे. मैं जस्ट थोड़ा सा आपको बताना चाहता हूँ. पहला हमारा था एक वर्मी कंपोस्टिंग पिट बनाने का. तो नेचुरली हम KVK में हैं, तो ट्राइबल सब प्लान से हमारे पास कुछ फंड आता था. तो हमने डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से अप्रोच किया, तो उनने नरेगा और ट्राइबल सब प्लान से हमने कन्वर्जेंस करके SHG और FPO के लिए 100 टाकों का निर्माण किया और वो 100 टाके जो वर्मी कंपोस्ट के बने थे उसको हमने फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट को वर्मी कंपोस्ट देना शुरू किया। तो दिस इज़ द कन्वर्जेंस आउट इनपुट एंड आउटपुट। अनदर वन था कि हमारे एक एफपीओ था हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, तो उसके साथ हमने कन्वर्जेंस किया और महिलाओं को जोड़ा, हमारे एसएचजी दीदियों को, तो हमने वहाँ पे बनाना फाइबर का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर शुरू किया। तो एक चीज़ हमें अच्छी लगती यह है कि जब आप गांव लेवल पे जाते हैं तो आप ये ऑब्ज़र्व करेंगे कि रूरल जो वूमेन रहती है वो बहुत डिवोशन से काम करती है रादर देन रूरल फार्मर्स। तो हमने ये जब ऑब्जेक्टिव क्रिएट किया था तो हमने बनाना फाइबर भी निकाला, बनाना सेब भी निकाला। इसके बाद हमारी एसएचजी की महिलाएं और एफपीओ कन्वर्जेंस करके हैंडलूम और हैंडीक्राफ्ट में भी उसमें काम करने लगे। इसके अलावा फिर हमने ये, इसलिए मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि हाउ वी के कन्वर्ज एफपीओ एंड एसएचजी फॉर विन विन सिचुएशन फॉर अकोमोडेशन ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और फंड या फंड को हम किस तरीके से वेल यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं 2 या 3 स्कीम को कन्वर्ज करते हुए। तो इसके बाद हमने शुरू किया था एक दाल मिल का काम। तो दाल मिल हमने एसएचजी महिला एफपीओ के साथ जब शुरू किया तो हमने ये पाया कि दाल तो हम निकाल रहे हैं, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री पोषण योजना जो कि हर आंगनवाड़ी में चलती है, तो वहाँ पे जो दाल ली जाती है वो बाहर से ली जाती है। दिस इज़ द फैक्ट। तो हमने डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से अप्रोच किया तो हमारे एफपीओ और एसएचजी की दाल को भी हमने आंगनवाड़ी में पहुँचाना शुरू किया। तो इस तरीके से हम किस तरीके काम कर सकते हैं फील्ड लेवल पे, ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है। इसके अलावा हमारे एफपीओ को हम अपेडा के माध्यम से या एग्रीकल्चर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड के माध्यम से, प्रधानमंत्री एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन प्रोग्राम से हम अच्छे अच्छे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी क्रिएट कर रहे हैं और कर चुके हैं, जिसमें क्लीनिंग, ग्रेडिंग, सॉर्टिंग है, वेयर हाउस है, कोल्ड स्टोरेज है, आपका पैक हाउस है। तो हमारा उद्देश्य यह है कि हम एसएचजी, एनआरएलएम, एसआरएलएम के साथ हमारे एफपीओ को किस तरीके से हम इतने अच्छे से कन्वर्ज करें कि जैसे अभी आशीष सर ने बताया था कि सीड लाइसेंस है, फर्टिलाइज़र लाइसेंस है, जीएसटी है, एफएसएसआई है, जो बेसिक्स लाइसेंस हैं बिजनेस शुरू करने के लिए। तो आपके सपोर्ट से हम ब्लॉक लेवल पे उसको किस तरीके से जल्दी अचीव कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि सीड हुआ, फर्टिलाइज़र हुआ, अभी सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड की बात चल रही थी, तो सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड में कितना हमारा कंज्यूमशन रहेगा 6 महीने में, 8 महीने में, 10 महीने में, यूरिया का, पोटास का, आपका सिंगल सुपर फास्फेट का, ये चीज़ें वर्कआउट तभी हो सकती हैं जब हम फील्ड लेवल पे या ब्लॉक लेवल पे आपके सहयोग से हमारे एफपीओ को, हमारे सीबीबीओ को स्ट्रेंथनिंग कर पाएँ, ना सिर्फ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए, प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम के लिए, इवन उनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग, लोकेशन स्पेसिफिक किस तरीके से होना चाहिए, वो भी हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है। थैंक यू।
सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड पे गवर्नमेंट पूरी कोशिश कर रही है सेचुरेशन पॉइंट पे आने के लिए, बट द थिंग इज़ कि जो सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड बने भी हुए हैं ग्राउंड लेवल पे, जब भी हम इंस्पेक्शन पे जाते हैं, फार्मर से पूछते हैं, तो हमारा एक्सपीरियंस यही रहता है कि कार्ड तो बना हुआ है बट फार्मर उसको कभी यूज़ नहीं करता है। वो जो भी फर्टिलाइज़र यूज़ करता है अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बेस पे करता है। तो उसमें एस्पायरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट के ऑफिशियल्स बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले कर सकते हैं, फार्मर्स को सेंसिटाइज करने में, उनको बताने में कि सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड की क्या यूटिलिटी है, ताकि फार्मर्स खुद आगे आए सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड को इशू कराने के लिए। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Finally, I would like to request Professor Vijay Kumar Tiwari. He is a senior professor of health and the dean at National Institute of Health and Family Welfare. Sir, आप health saturation पे please हमारे participants के साथ अपना insight share करें.
Very good afternoon to all of you. The respected DG NIRD, sir, thank you very much for giving me a opportunity and inviting me, and thanks to organizing team also for inviting me. So I will not take much time. I do not have any PPT to show because all the data and information already published on NITI, Aayog, NIRD and other apex institution websites. So I will only see the aspirational block program माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये प्रोग्राम शुरू किया था 2023 में। इसके पहले एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रोग्राम होता था। तो बेसिकली दिस फोकस ऑन अंडर डेवलप्ड एरियाज। आप सभी को पता है कि अंडर डेवलप्ड ब्लॉक्स जो होते हैं, तो अराउंड 500 ब्लॉक्स आइडेंटिफाई किया। एंड मेन इसका पर्पस था कन्वर्जेंस ऑफ, इसके पहले आप सभी लोगों ने बताया, द कन्वर्जेंस ऑफ वेरियस स्कीम्स in health sector. We are working with the NHM National Health Mission, that is also convergence of many national health program, and then defined outcomes and KPIs. I said attended 2 years back a workshop of NIRD when the modules were being developed. So then we discussed about the KPIs, key performance indicators, and then monitoring tools and collaboration. That is very important. The collaboration and convergence, that is very important, and key thematic areas. So many departments, we are talking about education, agriculture, allied services, basic infrastructure, social development, everything we discussed here, and only health and nutrition, that is left out. Only I would like to see the health. Health is very difficult, achieving health, the goals and the targets very difficult. Our previous director, late Professor Devkindan sir, used to be a very legend in public health. He used to tell in Hindi, स्वास्थ्य बोलना बहुत मुश्किल है, and स्वास्थ्य implementation is even more difficult here. So regarding this saturation indicators, I will tell that I will take a small example of the maternal health indicator, maternal death, where there are many health indicators. And saturation bringing maternal, the maternal death ratio, MMR, maternal death ratio, up to the national, goals of the health policy, whatever health policy identify SDGs. That is difficult, and for that, I think, and in the health department, I have 35 years of experience in, working in the field level in health sector. And 1 year back, NITI Aayog asked us to submit a proposal also for evaluation of achievements in aspirational blocks, and we submitted. After that, still we are awaiting maybe some issues, administrative financial issues may be there, but my thinking is, if you want to achieve the saturation level, then there are strategies and convergence and collaboration. These strategies are here, and you see, if you ask about the this thematic area, so everything affects health. So health is development and development is health. It is, So if your education is good, agriculture, allied services and basic infrastructure good, health will automatically improve, but it will take a longer time. It takes time. So there are measures and strategies which we can think about the short term, medium term and long term. So the integration, collaboration and then convergence of various department, the various ministries activity, those are the long term. Those will definitely achieve the SDG goals, will help to achieve the SDG goals in area of health. But what I suggest that we have to work for the short term strategies. In many states I worked, and I will take example of the Odisha and northeastern states, some of the states. So they have already, before this aspirational block program, they have already identified the difficult, how difficult to reach and underdeveloped the blocks and areas. And in health sector, sir, we are working with tracking the risk cases, tracking and monitoring is okay, but we are working with the tracking of the mothers. So if we do the tracking and auditing of the cases, auditing health sector, audit of maternal death, audit of child death, those are very important strategies. So if we start tracking and we are tracking the maternal health, we are tracking the pregnant mothers in health sector and the NHM, we are tracking the deliveries also, we are tracking the risk cases also. But the issue is this tracking, the issue is the difficult to reach areas. So my two issues is we have to work with the short term strategies, long term already being taken care, and effective tracking and then auditing and taking action on the gaps. That is the one thing. Another thing is the ground reality is that whatever we talk about, the strategies, convergence, everything. So all rest, all come to the human workforce, human resources, people who are working in the difficult areas. So many state government, they came out with certain incentives for the ASHA worker, for ANM, for the medical doctors also. And if you work in these difficult areas, I name the Odisha government and the northeastern, Meghalaya, I will say Nagaland, Meghalaya, these are the states. They have the special incentives for the workers who prefer, who are willing to work in the difficult to reach areas, and so called these aspiration blocks. So the main problem is whatever strategies are in paper, whatever the strategies are in the file or maybe in the pipeline, resources may be there, but if the health staff, the concerned staff, they are not willing to go to those areas and serve, so all the things will remain on the paper. So what I request that aspirational block, or within the aspirational block also, we have to identify most vulnerable blocks, and we have to come out with incentives for the health workers, the ground level or the operation level health workers, our ANM, our ASHA workers, even our Anganwadi workers and medical doctors work at the primary center level in the block, to work in those areas, then only, and work for the the tracking of the risk cases, tracking of the beneficiaries, and auditing the results what is happening. Then only we can bring the maternal health indicator or MMR indicator or child health indicator up to saturation level. So first we have to work on a short term strategies which are directly relating to the operations at the ground level. And then the district level and state and country level, we are talking in previous panel discussion, the policy level discussions, where the secretary level discussion, that these approaches, these strategies, these program initiatives are being undertaken. Those are fine. So my only humble request is, we have to use certain incentives to health workers to attract them, go to the difficult areas and work, and we have to track the beneficiaries. If we track the maternal health, maternal institutional deliveries, and even a postpartum period, if we track it, then we can within the short period of time we can even achieve the saturation level of indicators. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Tiwari, and I think it's very significant what Professor Tiwari just shared with us. I think more than the large wins, it is the short wins that we all need to focus on. And that is what the Aspirational Block program is about, that we focus on the immediate low-hanging fruit and look at the short wins that we can immediately score. So with that note, I would like to kind of end the panel discussion here. And again, on the behalf of the National Institute of Rural Development and NITI Aayog, I thank all the panelists who are present here, and I request all our participants to please join us for a lunch outside, and after lunch we are going to gather here again, where our next panel's experts have also arrived, and we are going to start the immersive group discussions. Please join us for a lunch.